Hey, what's going on? This is Roots, and this is Virtual Strangers review of Apex Construct. And along with me is Wes, as always. How's it going, Wes?
Pretty well, man. Cannot complain.
Yeah, me neither. I woke up this morning. I say it's a good day, so it's pretty much my philosophy anyway. Anyway, so Apex Construct is what we're talking about. If I can talk, came out March 20th, 2018. For PC VR, and pretty much trickled down to every other venue as well as Quest. Wes, what kind of game is Apex Construct?
It's an action adventure game. It's narrative driven, kind of an archery based. It's a narrative driven adventure with some occasional light puzzle solving and occasional archery based action sequences.
Yeah, it's pretty much sums it up. I think it's got a really good story, actually, narrative. I was playing it today, and I guess we'll start with that. You're on a it seems like after Earth's been destroyed. I don't know exactly. I haven't finished this, so I don't know exactly what the end result is here, but there was a battle between AI and you're the last human that survived, and you've got a battle between two AI entities, mother and father, and I kind of feel like the kid in the middle there, and so their father's trying to help you along this story of the narrative, and trying to get you to save humanity. I guess would that pretty much sum it up, or is there more to it for you, Wes?
Well, Father kind of pulls you out of the void into this world, this post-apocalyptic world, which resembles the world in which you once lived, but is kind of all jacked up. Everything's all glitched out and weird. As time goes on, you begin to question Father's motives. He comes off at first like he's just got your best interest at heart. He's just trying to protect you from Mother. But as time goes on and you play through the game, more and more it seems like you're protecting him from Mother. Furthermore, without, I don't want to spoil too much about the story here, so we're not going to really go into it deeply. But you start to question Father's motives. You start to question whether or not you are the first who's been put in this position. And really, it's a mystery that unravels as you go. Again, a pretty tight story here. The story is what drives you forward in the game, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, I actually got back into the story again today, and I was like, man, I don't want to stop playing this. It's really good, and the gameplay as well is good. I really, I guess let's talk about the bow and arrow. There's so many different aspects of it, and they keep adding to it. At least what I've gotten to on the the electric arrow that opens up doors, and it just feels good. They did it really well. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, the bow and arrow feel great. Some of the better bow and arrow physics that I've had in VR. It feels. Actually, it feels very similar to the Windlands 2 bow and arrow, except even a little bit better than that, in my opinion. The first time I played this game, I played it on PlayStation VR, and the bow and arrow did very well there with the Move controllers. I then played it on Rift again. Awesome on the CV1 Rift. And then this past time, playing it this past week, I actually played it on Oculus Quest, and even with the inside-out tracking, the bow and arrow worked flawlessly, and it has a nice smooth action to it. It has a long range, and I don't know if it was just me, but I felt like I could be really accurate even when I'm, in a heated battle trying to make quick movements. I felt pretty much like a badass with that thing.
Yeah, I do too. Actually, I felt really good with it. It made me feel like I should do better at in death, but I don't do that good at that game for some reason. Those monsters get me. But no, the bow and arrow on this was spot on, and like you said, even I did played it on the Rift S, and I had absolutely no jank, nothing whatsoever. Of course, I haven't felt that for months now, but yeah, it was done very well. What did you think about the graphics on this between all three platforms, PlayStation, Quest, and the Rift?
Well, obviously, it was a little bit better on the Rift than it was on the PlayStation and the Quest, but not by much. I would say that the PlayStation VR version and the Quest version surprisingly were pretty much on par with one another. The footage that you're looking at here, this is actually footage that I captured myself on the Oculus Quest, and it was done using the Oculus Quest internal recording function. So not only was I running this, pretty substantial game on that tiny processor, but I was also using the same set of resources to record it. And I mean, you can see what it looks like here. It looks really good, and in some ways, due to the higher resolution display that the Quest has, in some ways it even looked better than the PlayStation version.
Yeah, that's crazy. I just think it's crazy that, like you said, the resources can record as well. It just makes you think. I mean, if you had it tethered to your computer and recording through OBS, and you had the full power, but I guess you don't need it. It's just amazing to me what the Quest can do. So, I mean, this game pretty much all around is top notch. Now, what does it go for cost wise? Do you know? I can't remember. Is it like $20?
$25, something like that. You can catch it on sale fairly regularly for $15, but I'm thinking it's around 20.
Yeah, I think it's 20. I think I saw that it was permanently dropped to 20 not too long ago. But yeah, I definitely think I mean, for $20 for what you get, I've already put in 2 hours on easy. I was telling you how cool easy mode was on this. Like, I got to the second or the third password, and I was like started to getting ready to look around everywhere like I have in the rig, because I had to start over, so I was trying to catch up. And I looked over and there was a clipboard on the ground, and it was right in front of the thing, and I was like, oh hey, here's the code. So yeah, they did a really good job of making it easy for Ruuts so that he could do a better review. So I appreciate that. But on the regular modes, there's a lot more to it. So I think that's really cool. So
yeah, this game, it came out a while back, and it a lot of firsts in this game. I mean, it was one of the first narrative adventures of this scope that we got on VR. One of the first really good archery titles that we had in VR, and like the inventory system, the way that you can access it and pull things in and out. One of the first games to have that sort of inventory system in it. Really, one of the first really high quality titles. This game came out during an era where VR was plagued by a lot of super short tech demos that really didn't have a whole lot of replayability or a whole lot of meat to them. And this game gives you a good 4 to 6 hour story driven campaign with fairly high production value. Whether or not it's a must own for PC VR or not is debatable. There's so many games on PC VR and now even PlayStation VR. But if you have an Oculus Quest, there aren't very many titles like this on Oculus Quest that take you on this kind of adventure and have this high of production value and really play as good as this. So I do think that I would call this a must own for anyone who enjoys this type of game and owns an Oculus Quest.
I agree, but I would actually say PlayStation VR as well. Like, there's a lot of games on PlayStation, but not any that have this much puzzling and just everything all around. It's such a solid title, and like you said, for a game to work well with the Move controllers, that's a testament to the developers. You know, if you played a bow and arrow game with that didn't feel weird with those Move controllers, that's good. So
Yeah, and that was way back when. You know, at the time when this came out on PlayStation VR, it absolutely was a milestone. There wasn't a whole lot of these type of games on PSVR back then. There's been a lot of ports since then, but when this came out, it was fairly it was a fairly new thing. This type of game. If I'm not mistaken, this may have even debuted on PlayStation VR first, and then came to PC later. But the development team behind this game have done a good job of adding to it, improving it. The biggest complaint people had about it initially was the way you do intel on this game, and is what you're looking at here. You have to hack into these computers and read through these files, and people didn't particularly like the fact that they had to type everything out on the keyboard. Well, they've updated it now where everything's just push one button, and basically all you have to do is read. So I thought that was cool. This last playthrough was the first time I had experienced that. I thought it was a big improvement. But yeah, you're right. For something to work well with the Move controllers, even all the way back then, it's a testament to the talent of the developers at Fast Travel Games.
yeah. Yeah, and I didn't even, I mean, I did realize you could hit the open in the direct there, but I was still trying to type it out half the time. And I realized why, because fat fingers in VR, you're typing all sorts of shit and you're having to back up. And it's like, you know, even if you just typed in OPEN, it's a pain in the butt. So yeah, that's really cool. I didn't know that I guess I did know that because it wasn't part of the original, but I didn't really think about it today. So
Yeah,
but yeah, so oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, go ahead. I'm fine.
No, I was just gonna say overall, this game, I guess we both agree is a game worth playing through, whether it's a must-have or not. If you like this type of game, a puzzler, adventure, action, really good story, for a really good price, even if, like you said, you wait for a sale, I think it's definitely worth playing through. But either way, on the Quest for sure, because I agree they're especially with all the controversy of them not putting many games on there. For some reason, they only want a handful of games on their console, which is really bizarre.
Yeah, it is weird, and who knows what their motivation is behind that. But as far as this game goes, if you enjoy a story-driven adventure, this is a pretty solid one here. It gives you nice, short bouts of pretty frantic, action, but it's just long enough to be fun, but just short enough to let you continue on with your adventure. And it's not just constant action, which is something that I really enjoyed. It's a fairly big world to explore, lots to look at, even if you do find yourself backtracking quite a bit in it, revisiting the same areas quite a bit. I never really got bored with looking around and exploring this world. And yeah, absolutely a solid title on every platform. I mean, it says a lot about this game that I've played it on all three platforms.
Mm-hmm.
If it was garbage, I would have never came back to it. Just the fact that we're reviewing it on this channel says something about this game. It says that I wanted to play it again this week, and I'm glad I did. It really surpassed my expectations for the Oculus Quest version. So yeah, I'm really glad I played it again. And like you, I didn't want to stop.
Yeah, I'm going to finish it pretty soon here. That's what I keep saying about every backlog game, but that's what the backlog report is for. But yeah, so I guess that pretty much wraps it up for Apex Construct. Definitely worth picking up, I think, at any price. And yeah, so if you like this video, if you like this channel, definitely hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, join our Discord, and I guess we will check you out next time.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Yep.